Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're out here with Arwen today, and today I want to talk about a health issue with goats because we have been talking a little bit about health. So what I wanted to talk about today is bloat. This is one of those things where you've either never had it or it's been the bane of your existence and you might have even lost a goat to it. Bloat is devastating and often fatal. So basically what bloat is a buildup of kind of frothy gas in the rumen, in their belly. It's usually caused by eating something they shouldn't eat or too much of something that they maybe can eat a little bit of, but they eat too much of it. So when we eat something that disagrees with us, we, don't feel great, and, we might have a bellyache. When they can get a bellyache, it can turn into bloat and it can kill them. So bloat is an incredibly serious thing. All right. Now, some of the things that might trigger bloat is too much grain, too much rich grasses, or too much alfalfa hay. Hi, Shadowfax. Or too much alfalfa hay or other legume hays. You have hay on your face. Look at that. Let's get the hay off your face. There we go. But any of those things can cause bloat, but so can a whole host of other things that your goat might eat. Okay, they could find things in the bush and start eating it, and you might not know what actually caused the bloat. Okay, you might not know why your goat has bloat or why they're scratching their chest on the fence. But goats will goat. So, like I said, bloat can be deadly. Not all goats get it from the same thing. Some goats tolerate, for example, legume hays better than others. So what causes bloat in your goat might not cause bloat in your neighbor's goat. It can be a very tricky, devastating thing to deal with. Okay? And it tends to be foods that your goat is not really used to that causes it. Why, you weird. You're so weird. I got bit on the back. Excuse me. Excuse me. Why are you biting? It's because I can. Because he's a mini horse, and mini horses like to chomp. You're such a chomper. Anyway, not the point. But it tends to be a food that they're not really used to. So a new food or something that they haven't had much of, and it's kind of starting to bother them, and then all of a sudden, bloat. Bloat happens, and if bloat strikes, the best thing you can do is call your vet. Okay? Your vet has better stuff to deal with it. They have things that they can administer really quickly and that work really fast that you might not have access to. If you've dealt with bloat in the past, you might have the stuff from your vet in your barn. And if you do, that's excellent, because you want to use that stuff if you can. A really bad case of bloat can kill in hours. So using the stuff from the vet is the way to go if at all possible. However, what do you do if you can't get the vet out? Right? It's Saturday night, 2 a.m. We've talked before about how that's when the bad stuff happens. So you can't get a hold of your vet. You can't find anyone to come out and save your goat. What do you do? So one of the only things you can do is try to use an oil and force that down, make them eat an oil, and that can help break up the surface tension of the frothy, gassy bubbles, and then they can burp it out. That's one of the only things you can do. I recommend using either a vegetable oil, just a straight vegetable oil, or a peanut oil. I know a lot of people like mineral oil. I don't like mineral oil only for one reason. It works. Mineral oil works. The problem is mineral oil is tasteless. So because mineral oil doesn't have a taste, sometimes the goat doesn't swallow it properly and it can go into their lungs. That's the only reason I don't like mineral oil. It still works if you can get it down and you don't end up aspirating your poor goat with mineral oil. That's why I like to use vegetable oil. So usually most of us have vegetable oil in our house. So just grab your vegetable oil, force down between a quarter cup and a third of a cup down into your goat's belly. Make them eat it. You can use a syringe. Make them eat that vegetable oil. They have to eat it. Okay, it has to go down orally through their mouth. So use a syringe that you might use for administering other oral antibiotics. That's the best you can do without a vet. Okay, this will help kind of pop those bubbles, and they'll be able to burp up the gas and get it out of their rumen. If you can't get it out of the rumen, they're going to die. Okay, bloat is terrible. So what are some of the symptoms of bloat? Your goat might be really restless. They might have a lot of stomach discomfort, so they might be biting at their abdomen. They might be, rubbing it on the ground. Hi, Shadowfax. They might be doing a lot of that stuff. They might just act weird. They'll have no appetite. They might drool. They might be drooling a lot, and that's not fun. Also, the stomach distends on the left side. Okay, so when I say left side, you come up behind your goat. Your left hand is the left side. That's where the rumen is. So this is going to expand, and it's going to just kind of keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're all used to the goat gets really, really big, and then they digest and it goes down again. Bloat doesn't go down. So if your goat is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger on that left side, and it's not going down, you might have a case of bloat on your hands. That's where you need the vegetable oil. If you don't tend to it in time, you could end up with respiratory distress. Eventually the goat collapses and the goat can die. So absolutely, bloat is a big deal. Again, the best thing you can do is get a vet out, because they've got stuff you probably don't have unless you've dealt with bloat in the past. So that's my number one recommendation. Make sure you have a relationship with a vet. Make sure you can get that vet out at a moment's notice if you notice bloat setting in, because bloat will kill. It's a terrible, terrible thing, and you don't want to lose a goat to bloat. And you're just standing here in my way, because that's your job. You got hay in your face. Give me the hay in your face. Fine, don't give me the hay in your face. He's like, no. Fine. Anyway, that is bloat for you, and it's devastating. A lot of goat keepers have lost a goat to bloat, and it can be just horrific. So if you do see signs of bloat, act immediately, call a vet, get them out to deal with that bloat as soon as you possibly can. It is way, way more deadly than it sounds. Bloat doesn't sound bad. It's bad. Okay, so deal with it fast, be aggressive in treatment, and get your vet out if you can. Okay? Try really hard to get that vet out. If you can't, vegetable oil is your next best bet. But it doesn't work as well as stuff the vet has. Anyway, that is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. I hope you do not have to deal with bloat in your goats. We'll see you tomorrow.